Hello all. Today I'm going to talk about how to set up Db2 DPF environment from scratch, and this time we are going to work around physical nodes, not logical nodes but physical nodes. So the my setup is I got Db2 installed. So I got two hosts, Db1 and Db2, and Db2 is already installed. I do not have any instance, neither I have any database. So my ultimate aim would be like this. To the end result is I will set up two logical nodes on db1. So on first machine I'll set up two logical nodes. On db2 I'll set up two logical nodes. So this will become 4 node dpf environment with two different nodes, and hence because there are two nodes involved, it becomes the physical nodes as well. So this is a combination of logical plus physical node setup. To achieve this, we have to follow a couple of steps. So what we will do, how to achieve this? So first, install db2 on both the machines as you would normally do. So on both the servers, you install db2 as you normally do. Once you do that, do not create instance while installing db2. No harm if you do so. It's okay if you do so, but I would suggest do not create the instance. Then you, using db2 iCreate, you create an instance on host db1. Similarly, you create an instance on host db2 using db2 iCreate. Make sure that the UID of the instance owner, so it's you have to create the same instance. So if you are using instance name is db2p, then you have to create db2p on db1 and db2p on db2. What you have to sorry, what you have to make sure is the UID of db2p on db1 and UID of db2p on db2 is same. So user ID is same. Then you have, if after creating the instance, if the instance is brought up, make sure it is stopped. Literally, when you create instance using db2 iCreate, it is in stop state, but just to verify, we'll stop the instance on both the nodes. Then you have to mount the instance of instance home directory from first host onto the second host. You could do the reverse way also. So you have to decide which node becomes the catalog node, and you have to decide on which host will which instance home directory you will mount to all other nodes. Then you edit the db2 nodes config file to add the nodes the way you want to. Then you start the instance. Once you start the instance, you create the database and then you test the database that it has created on all the nodes. These are the steps. So let me repeat. Install db2 as you normally do. No separate installation, normal installation. Do not create any instance. Create instance on host db1. Create instance on host db2. Stop the instance if it is started. Mount instance home directory from first to second host. Edit db2 nodes.config file to add the nodes, start the instance, create the database, test the database. So these are the steps. So now I got these two machines. Let me clear the screen. So I got these two machines, and I should be okay. I am logged in as a root. So what I'll do, I will show you that I do not have any instance. db2 ilist. So I have got one db2 product and I do not have instance. This is host db1, which is in green color. This is host db2, which is in white color font, and here also I do not have any instance. We will create the same instance on both the nodes. So I'm going to run this command here as well as I'm going to run it here. So I ran, so I'm creating instance called db2p on db2 as well as on db1. So same instance I'm going to create on both the nodes. Then we are going to stop the instance. It will not be started, but let's, so instance execution completed successfully, so we have successfully created an instance. So let me clear the screen and let me do db2 stop. Obviously it will not be started, but still we'll do this. Okay, now that we have stopped it, although it was never started, we will mount the home directory of first user onto the second. That's also done. Now what I'll do is I will edit this db2 nodes.config file. So what I'm saying here, if you see, I'm going to copy it. So what I'm saying, on db1 I need two nodes 0 and 1, and on db2 I need two nodes 2 and 3. So on db1 host I will have two nodes 0 and 1. On db2 I will have two nodes 2 and 3, and this way I will have four nodes on two servers. So total four nodes on distributed on two servers. Okay, that's done. Now let me switch to db2. Okay, so now let me start my instance. So is there any process running? No db2cc process running on db1. Similarly, nothing is running here. Now let me do db2 start. Okay, communication error. Very good. This should not happen. On 2 and 3 I got a communication error. Not mounted. Looks like it has not been mounted properly. So let me go back. Let me stop this. Let me exit out. Should have stopped it. Okay, it has now looks like it has done it. Okay, so the mount was not proper, that's why I got that particular error. So to resolve the error, what I did, I tried to mount it again. It got failed because it was, so I did umount, so I unmounted that and remounted it, and then when I did the db2 stop force, all came up. So okay, now I'll show you. Okay, so you see 0 and 1 are on db1, 2 and 3, so 0 and 1, you see the number 0 and 1 are on db1, number 2 and number 3, here 2 and 3 are on db2. Why this is the case? The reason is simple. So let's have a look at our nodes.config file. So you see we have got 0 and 1 pointing to db1, and hence this 0 and 1 which is here pointing to db1, while we have got 2 and 3 pointing to db2. So 2 and 3 pointing to db2, and that's why the db2cc process, although it came 4 times up because we have got 4 nodes, the first two processes came on db1 and the second and third, also second set of processes of db2cc came on db2. Now that our instance is up and running, let's fire our creation of the database. So this is the command that I'm going to fire to create my database. And while this is doing this, what I'll do here is I'll show you. If I go to this particular directory, I specified this particular directory. So let me go to that directory and let me show you that under instance home, I got node 2 and 3 on db2p. The reason being, again, 2 and 3 are present on db2, the second host, and hence the directory for the node 2 and node 3, node 2 and 3 got created on host db2. If I go to instance 1, which I'll do now, and if I go to same directory again, and if I do ls-l, I should see under instance home, I should see 0 and 1. So under host 1 db1 I got node 0 and 1. So literally my database is created on two different nodes, two different servers, db1 and db2. Two nodes got created on 0 1 and two nodes got created on 2 and 3. Let's give it a minute before the database gets created, and then as a final step I will just show you. Okay, I don't need to show you the host name, because when it connects it internally shows the host name where it is connected. So create database is completed. So let me run this command. 0 is on db1, 1 is on db1, 2 is on db2, see host has changed, and 3 is on db2. If I run the same command on the second node, 0 is on db1, 1 is on db1, 2 is on db2, and 3 is on db2. So this is how I was able to create a multi-node DPF environment on two different servers. So the steps that I followed were: install db2 as you normally do. Do not create instance. I did not create. I created instance in front of you. I created instance on db1. I created instance on db2. I stopped the instance on both the nodes if it is started. Mount instance home directory from first to second. Edit db2 nodes to as many as entries you want, the way you want. Start the instance, create the database, test the database. Again, to show you, create the database on host db1, create the database on host db2. On node 2, I mounted the instance home directory, edited the nodes config file to look like this. I started the db2, verified that some of the processes have gone on db1 and some of the processes have gone to db2, and then I created the database. After creating the database, I verified using this command how my database looks like. So these were the steps I followed to set up the DPF environment, the multiple servers and two logical nodes on db1 and two logical nodes on db2 and 4-node DPF environment we set up successfully. I hope this video was useful. Do pass in your comments, and thanks for watching. Bye bye.